Vietnam is located on the easternmost edge of the Indo-Chinese peninsula, with China to the north and Laos and Cambodia to the west. Its more than 2,000-mile-long coastline abuts the Gulf of Tonkin, the South China Sea, and the Gulf of Thailand. These seas create both direct access to the wider Pacific Ocean and a critical buffer to Vietnam's long and narrow land territory. Modern Vietnam consists of two geographic and population cores: the Red River Delta in the north, home to the capital of Hanoi, and the Mekong River Delta in the southern lowlands, where Ho Chi Minh City sits. These cores are separated by over 1,600 miles and connected by a thin and largely mountainous coastal spine, only around 30 miles wide at its narrowest point. Despite mountains and jungles, the northern Vietnamese core has a long history of invasion by forces from China. This almost continuous pressure from the north in part forced Vietnam's early rulers to expand the country's boundaries. First southward to the Mekong River Delta, and then westward into present-day Laos and Cambodia. Historically, and today, the natural geographic separation of Vietnam's northern and southern cores has exacerbated the two regions' social, cultural, and political divide, leaving the country vulnerable to invasion by foreign powers, whether Chinese, French, or American. Vietnam's primary geographic challenge is to secure buffer space, both on land and sea. Today, Vietnam's need for space and security in the South China Seas pits it against China, also in the throes of maritime expansion, thus adding a new dimension to Vietnam's long-standing struggle to carve space for itself against its larger northern neighbor.
When British business thinks about Vietnam, it often sees Vietnam as a small country with a low-cost manufacturing base. In fact, Vietnam's a big country, 90 million people. But Vietnam's not just about low-cost manufacturing, it's about high-tech too. Of course, we've got the Marks and Spencers, we've got the Clark shoes that we buy in the UK, but we've also got British companies redesigning many of UK's public buildings on scale models and computer screens in Vietnam. It's about IT as well, with again British companies leading the way. We're developing here the IT software we use in the NHS and the education sectors in the UK. And the big names are here: HSBC, Prudential, Standard Chartered, Rolls-Royce, the big oil companies, energy companies too. They're here at a time when Vietnam's population, 90 million, only 10% of them have a bank account, and only 1% have life insurance, which I think shows the potential for the growth in this sort of market, and that's where we can help. Doing business in Vietnam is about building relationships. You've got to get to know people first. You've got to get them to like you, and then you can do the business. It can look a bit daunting as well. It's a bit like crossing the roads with all this traffic. But step by step, slowly, slowly, you will get there. And we can help you do that.
The Vietnamese economy has been growing at for over 7% for the past 15 years. It's projected to do over 7% for the next 4 or 5 years, certainly. And the American engagement with Vietnam during this time has been critical, I think, to that development. And with that, it has opened up the door for a lot of potential for American companies in a number of different sectors: telecommunications, medical equipment, power, energy, anything to do with infrastructure. There really is two significant markets which are in many ways distinct, and that's Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh City. Ho Chi Minh City being the more industrialized, broader-based economy. Hanoi also with its own dynamic and growing economy, but with more of the government connections as the capital city. Any company that wants to do business in Vietnam with our assistance just has to come to us with a note with some background and what they're looking at and so forth. And we'll help them sort that out, because some products and technologies would lend themselves to Ho Chi Minh City, some to Hanoi, some to both. But with our team of experts on the ground, we'll be able to sort that out on the front end. The Vietnamese student population, source country of students coming to the United States, has almost tripled in the past 3 years. It's been the fastest growing source country of all the countries in the world over this period of time. It just reinforces the positive bilateral relations that we're having with the country.